right, Inappropriate Earl. We're back for more, and I always say that at the start of every podcast, but this time there's a reason I really emphasize back for more, because the man who wrote and sang that song is finally back for more.
Is this thing fucking on yet?
Yes, it's on, Steven. Just yell right into it.
Yeah.
What's going on, man? It's been a couple years. Well, I've seen you in concert recently.
Yeah. Here it's been a while. I would rather do your show than most.
Well, I try and be respectful. You know, I mean...
Yeah, it's good.
As a man who's been in the band for 35 years,
yes,
there's going to be a few bumps and bruises along the way. I don't bring up those.
Oh, yeah. No reason.
Because there's too much good going on in Ratland.
In Ratland, it's a great place. The Cellar is a great place right now.
Because you guys are currently in the middle of the In Your Direction tour.
Yes, winding down. We have 13 shows in like 19 days next month, and we're calling it the Triple X Tour Christmas run, and then gear up for 2020.
And there's something big that we can't talk about in 2020, but Rat fans will be pleased.
Yeah, oh, yes. Oh, yeah. It's going to be a long year next year, and actually worldwide. So we've got a lot of ground to cover.
And what is there new music maybe in the works for Rat and or your solo?
Yeah, I'm actually going to be writing with Eric. Well, actually, we're writing right now, Eric and I, for my 6th solo record. I'll probably put out something before that with a couple new songs. And yes, Rat, Juan, is hopefully writing his brains off, and I've been writing, and we're going to probably release a couple tunes next year. Not probably, we will, and see where it goes, you know. Not even testing the waters, just put out a couple songs, the best songs we can, and Juan and I have done it before. There's no lack of communication there. Oh.
Hello. Now in 2019, 2020, like, how does a band that's been around as long as Rat go about putting new music out? Just because it's the music. Can you explain to me what the music industry is these days?
I don't know. I was having that conversation earlier with Miss K here, and it's interesting. And actually, and watching the AMAs last night, which I found to be nothing to do with any rock per se. I mean, if the best rock category they had last night, the only rock band that was in there wasn't even a rock band. It's pretty interesting. Yeah, where is the music business?
Well, I mean, it's even in live performance. It's like I've been to a few non-rock shows, and I don't know. It's just not for me.
Yeah,
they just stand there in like jeans and plaid shirts. They don't move, and you guys, I saw recently at the Rose in Pasadena and at the Canyon Club. I mean, you guys put on a great fucking show, and I'm not trying to kiss your ass.
No. When the band's firing on all cylinders. We're more than happy. I mean, that's what 2019 was all about, because I had the knee surgeries and, got over those bumps and bruises, and I'm pretty close to 100% on the knees. So it's all good. So it was, taking baby steps beginning of the year, and then working it up to where we are now. And now we've got the go ahead to go.
And the band's super tight right now. I mean, you got Chris Sanders on rhythm guitar,
rhythm and solos, and then you got Jordan Ziff on guitars, handling most of the solos. Pete Holmes on drums.
Black and Blue, if you know.
Yeah, I call him Mr. Thunder. He's amazing. I mean, not just musically with these guys, just that we get along as a gang, and that's what we need, a gang of brothers, that think and see and hear the same. That's hard to come by.
Well, I think that's an often underlooked quality of whether it's my world in comedy or a band is getting along.
Oh, sure, it helps. You can hate each other in work. It's like going to work. I mean, but we see it a little differently. We'd like it to be more than just thinking you're punching a clock.
Right,
You
which is,
know.
I'll mention one band in particular who, at times, I felt like they were just there.
Mm,
A Kiss, maybe,
mm,
and I love Kiss,
mm-hmm,
but there were definitely times when Ace and Peter were still in the band, where it's like, oh, they don't want to be
mm.
here. But
Yeah, this reunion craze, huh?
yeah, you got Motley Crue, Def Leppard, and Poison. I think is a big
Yeah,
thing.
I saw a funny thing that there are actually three cover bands that are going to go out at the same time, uh,
I mean, what
which
do you?
is hysterical.
But those, I'll be very sad when those bands stop touring. I mean, like,
Well, sure. Well, yeah, you want to hang out as long as you can.
you want to watch Coldplay? Just stand around.
Yeah, right. So, but another thing is like who these rock bands. Who's really a true rock band out there these days? I mean, you don't know who's using tapes and who's not. I'll tell you funny stories. One of these last four shows we did in L.A. One of the patrons there went to the ticket booth and wanted his money back because he said I was lip syncing, and I thought that was brilliant because usually you get that guy sucks or hey he's great or whatever, but this guy wanted his money back because he thought I was lip syncing, and then I thought about it, going, yeah, who else is just rocking out there, sterile, just
I mean,
guitars, bass, drums, his vocal.
I never have thought once Rad is lip synced.
I've heard it a few times, so I must be doing something right lately. Who knows?
That's how good you sound.
I don't think about it. I just yell. I turn that Steven switch on, that guy out there, and away he goes.
Well, I mean, I saw Kiss recently, and
Mm.
I have no 100% proof, but I think there were some times when there might have been
Something
tracks.
going on.
Well, Paul stepped away from the mic during, I believe it was "Hide Your Heart," and
And then you hear, woohoo,
yeah, the vocals were still
cold gin.
right.
I've never seen them. I'd like to see them.
I mean, visually, it's pretty spectacular.
Yeah, sure. It's a show, It's entertainment.
I don't mind that it's not Ace and Peter.
Yeah.
Just because.
Well, it's the same scenario with us, I mean, look, you deliver the goods, you deliver the goods.
But you guys sound amazing, and once
Thank
again,
you.
I'm not just trying to like be an ass kisser, but like at the Rose and the Canyon Club in Montclair, I was like, wow, they sound better than ever.
Well, we're kicking some ass, we are our own competition,
Yeah,
I don't look at anything that anybody never did. We just go out there and do what we do. You fire on all cylinders, and you're having a great, great show. Good time.
Now, how did this current version of Rat come together? Because I know you and Juan were always in touch.
Yeah.
And then what was it? Because you guys have been, this version has been around almost 2 years, maybe?
Close. Yeah. Close. Well, we did the audition thing, which we really, it's kind of a good, bad kind of a thing, but we found the right guys and we knew it right away. And it so happened I knew Chris from years ago, so that was crazy. Pete, we've known forever. He was
Right.
in one solo gig, and he's amazing. Jordan, I call him Kid Twist. He's just crazy. He's good out there.
Yeah, he's really.
So we're moving forward. I mean, it's we have a nice vehicle right now, and we intend to take on all comers.
And it's like you and Juan never left. Like
No.
you get the chemistry is so visible between you two.
Thanks.
It's as a fan,
Yeah.
it's fun to see.
Well, I mean, I'd like to have Robin back. There's a lot of things I'd like, but
Right.
so be it. The gods have spoken, but it's all good.
Is it hard
It's all good.
sometimes when you look over at Chris? And I mean, he's great, but
Yeah, he kind of has that aura, yeah.
and
Crosby.
do you like kind of catch yourself going? He kind of
Mm,
looks like Robin.
sure.
Maybe not as tall, but
Yeah. Yeah, there's but I think Robin's around all the time anyway.
right.
I'm a believer in other things, and he's kicking. He's approving.
Oh, of course.
You know.
His memory will always live on through his
Mhm.
music.
Of course.
And it's
All
like,
hail the king.
oh, the King was the best. I
Mhm.
mean, I remember when I had Tawny Katane on, and Tawny's seen and done a lot. And
Oh, yeah.
she saw Robin's framed picture up there, and she just started crying.
Yeah, we go back. I mean, her and him. I mean, I knew them when they were teenage, I wasn't much older than them, a few
Right.
years, but oh yeah, way back, San Diego days. Those were the good days.
How do you keep the motivation going to be in this wacky business? We're not. I mean, Rat's been around for 35 years,
Yeah,
but you were musically involved before Rat, so
sure,
like
sure.
40 years,
Yeah,
and you
yeah. Mickey
still
Rat, 77 in San Diego until I moved it up here in 1980. Um,
enjoy the grind and
mm,
the hustle.
the hustle and the grind, not much, but I like getting out there. It's exercise to me. Um, I'm not going to be doing kicks and jumps and flips and
You could every now and then.
never got carried away. And I know, but back to that reality. I mean, look, we're not we're dysfunctional, but we're not the most dysfunctional band
Right.
in history. So I just want to make that point clear.
Oh no, I mean
People are like, hey, what's going on with them or this and that? Well, that's just so be it. Nature of the beast, business.
But I get it. Like, before I started working on TV shows, I would be like, why can't Rat just get along? How hard is it?
Why can't they all just get along?
But I was on
Shit happens.
Yeah, no, I was on one Comedy Central show where after 3 years I wanted to kill everyone on it. I literally couldn't stand the people. I quit several times, and then I'm like, okay, Rat's been around for 30 years
Yeah.
at that time. I get it.
It's a difficult spin, and I mean, there are a lot of people that just pull out of the business, even after they've had success. They just, So what do you do? The band doesn't keep moving. I mean, I founded the band, so I'm definitely going to see it through. It's whatever we got to see it through.
Right.
That's my motto. But I just like what interests me is I still have a good time. I love writing songs. It doesn't matter. I just like what I do. I have other interests, definitely.
Drag racing still.
Yeah, and stuff I'm going to be getting into. I've always been into with TV and writing, and I got another book I want to get out there next year. Just a lot of stuff going on, which is good.
And you dabbled in acting, Wicked City, I think. As the door guy.
Yeah, right. I've done a few. I did Camp Utopia. I had a bigger part in that B horror whatever flick. It was funny. I like that. I definitely want to tap into some of that more aggressively too. I just want to, we just don't want to go out there and do 200 dates a year. And we're fortunate enough that we don't really have to go out there and do 200 dates. But I like us out there, I like doing this.
Could you ever see a successful movie this year was The Dirt, Motley Crue?
That was good.
Could you see maybe a Rat, either documentary or movie?
It's interesting. We've been talking about that way before The Dirt came out. And with a friend of mine, Tommy Asakawa, who edits and films and this and that. And he's been compiling stuff for years with me, solo and everything. I mean, years, 10 years or 15. And it's definitely the subject has been brought up again, not because of the success of that, just for the fact that we want to do something, we have interest. So we'll see what happens with that. I'd like to see that happen.
Oh, I know a lot of people would. I mean, but do you think, my only problem with the Motley Crue movie was, how do you do a movie about those guys or you guys? You guys were there
in an hour,
Well, 2 hours, whatever,
hours, yeah.
But also in this Me Too,
right?
movement,
right. Can't say this, can't say that.
Right, the 80s were the 80s.
Yeah, I mean that's put a disclaimer
right.
before you show it. This was the a decade of decadence. That's it.
Yeah, it just seemed like a sanitized version of
sure.
And I'm sure it'd be the same with you guys. Like,
of course,
you guys were like legends.
We just weren't loud about it, but
right.
I don't know how proud we were of it. It was just part of the game. Just live it up.
Was there a sense of you have to keep up with like the Motley Crues?
No.
In terms of the wild?
Never. No.
Because
believe me, we had our share of whatever, our decadence. But, hey, you grow up eventually if you survived.
I mean, you guys were, I think the MTV blowing up right as you guys were.
Correct.
Was
correct, yeah.
incredible. Luck or
It helped a lot of bands, MTV. I mean, where is MTV? I mean, there you go. There's another question, you know.
I don't know. You tell me.
And who said rock is dead? I mean, all these weird things that people come up with and say, where did hair metal come up? Who invented that? I don't, you know.
Well, I mean, I think Gene Simmons said rock is dead.
No.
But, you know.
If rock is dead, he wouldn't be out there touring.
Right. You know, I think he was frustrated maybe with the sales of the last few new Kiss albums, which I liked.
Never heard them.
I mean, you know, it's Kiss is now like the Jewish Menudo. They like
Menudo.
You know, Eric is Peter and Tommy is Ace, and
yeah, right.
You know, I think he's frustrated that people just want to hear them play rock and roll all night, and you know.
Yeah, sure. Well, I mean, look, you either embrace being classic or your legacy, being a legend, or whatever these words. I mean, people throw these things at me, legacy and this, and I just scratch my head and go, I am. I still think it's, you know, 19 whatever. I don't think about that stuff.
But you guys were.
Yeah, we embrace it. Some people don't like to, you know, embrace it. You can call us what you want, you know.
Yeah, like I've seen Bon Jovi in some interviews kind of run away from the era that they.
Yeah, why? Why?
I mean, I don't know.
That's what made you who you are. That's what made you number one,
right?
And number two, to keep doing it for the rest of your life if you choose and had success. So why, you know, think it's a bad thing? I embrace it. I think it's great. I mean, I can be, I don't know how or why, I can go out and look like I'm a beachcomber and people, hey, it's like right on, great, take a picture. It's way cool.
You're fan friendly.
Totally. That's the only way to be. You know, you can't piss everybody off.
Yeah, well, yeah, I think some bands don't get that.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, they don't want to be bothered, which I get. You're out to dinner with your, you know, significant other.
You're out with grandma.
Right. You go out with your grandma a lot.
Grandma's hitting Jack and you want to be left alone.
Yeah. You know, or Lemmy's at the Rainbow playing Pac-Man. Just let him, you know, rest in peace.
Yeah, that's way cool,
you know, and it's great. I think they got inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, or they were at least nominated this year. Which I don't know what the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. What are your thoughts?
That's a tough one too.
Like
thoughts?
Madonna's in.
Yeah, I mean, you know, because it is what it is. You know, I wouldn't say no, I'm not going, or I don't want to be inducted, or I'm better than that. It is what it is. It's corporate shit, you know. It's political in a way.
Yeah, I mean,
and there are so many people and musicians who need to be in these Rock and Roll Hall of Fames and win American Music Awards than, you know, bands like us or any band from our era. There's so many, you know, 50s, 60s, 70s artists, you know.
Well, speaking of Hall of Fame.
Oh, yeah, heavy metal.
You are in the Metal Hall of Fame now.
Coming up.
Can you talk about, I mean, that must make you feel incredibly proud?
I like this one because it's not a political driven thing like an MTV Awards. I mean, what is that? I mean, I've been to many of those, but what is it? It's a popularity contest that's political. You know, the AMAs, I believe, is fan voted, if I'm correct. And if that's the case, well, great. Then you hear what's being fed to you on the radio.
Right. So which is another political.
Another situation right there.
Yeah. Payola.
Sure, whatever it is.
Now, did you guys experience, like when MTV was first popping and you guys were brilliant enough, I believe it was Marshall Burl's
idea.
Thinking of, hey, let's put Milton in the videos.
Yeah.
And,
tongue in cheek. Don't take it so seriously. That was the motto for us.
Yeah, and those videos still stand up. You know, Back for More and Round, of course, was just
It's funny. I mean, you look back and think about it, but that era, that image, that look, that sound is more prevalent now in the 2000s, you know, all these young kids getting into the Rats, the Motleys, not just, and, you know, and other bands, of course, but it's almost like, you know, to some people, they don't even, they're wearing an AC/DC AC/DC shirt, and they don't even know what the fuck they're about. You know,
Well, I did see a band called ACDC,
ah,
and it was
four
for
chicks or five chicks.
they were transgendered.
Oh no.
Yeah,
Oh, that's
hey, win
trippy.
in Rome. But
Yeah, that's funny.
yeah, it was. There's so many different takes.
Hey,
Tribute
there's a
bands.
midget Kiss band.
Yeah, there's also one I saw out of Seattle. They all dress as Gene, and they're called Gene's Addiction.
That's great.
Yeah,
That's
it's pretty
classic.
fun, and they're good. Well, that's where Kiss got
Amazing.
their current guitar player, Tommy Thayer. He was in a Kiss tribute band.
Yeah.
And they're like, he plays Ace better than Ace.
Yeah.
Sorry,
trippy.
Ace.
And we just did a gig with Ace not too long ago.
Oh yeah, I think he was just at the Rose last night.
Again?
Yeah, and
Nice.
he plays with Gene's solo band. So it's they're very they're kind of younger guys, so they make him "Hey, let's do some deep cuts.
What do they call Wicked Lester? No.
No, which had I think one of the guys from Twisted Sister, JJ French. Was,
JJ.
But you guys,
I love Twisted Sister.
Oh, I like. They had a documentary. I mean, if they had a documentary on Ratch, definitely.
Yeah, we'll get to it. It's like why we didn't do TV. We wanted people to see us live and feel it and smell it and taste it and puke it and
because your guys' VH1 behind the
music
was one of the more popular ones, and I thought this could have been 2 hours just to cover.
Yeah, it's like writing a book. You can't fit 35 years in one book. And I wouldn't try. My next book will be a lot diverse. There'll be some funny stuff on stuff, pictures you've never seen. There's a lot of stuff in the works for next year, outside of Rat with me, and then Rat especially. I mean, it's going to be a good year for Rat. Year of the Rat, 2020.
And then any more future stuff with Arcade? Maybe out unreleased material or
that's a possibility. Unreleased material. I've got plenty of that. Matter of fact, I just talked to Fred
Fred's
yesterday,
the best.
And I told him, hey, if you want to do some drums on my soul stuff, you're more than welcome. Right on. So we'll meet up soon and take it from there.
And then Vertex, and because you might have to
have Charlie, yeah. Well, I'm actually putting together a legacy box set thing.
Oh, that's
and that'll
crazy.
be out next year.
And that would include like Vicious Delight,
everything. Vicious Delight, Mickey Rat, Arcade, solo stuff. I mean, I'm getting ready to do my 6th solo record, so that's I'm looking forward to. It's better and better every record.
You do that with the usual suspects, Matt Thorne
and Eric Ferentino's is like
Frankie.
If he wants, I mean, the door's open. I want to invite some other guys out there to play on it. Why not? It's music. I mean, some people take this shit way too seriously.
Well, that's what I love about your solo records. Is it seems like you actually had fun doing. Like you can tell you had fun,
sober or not. I mean, you get what you get. I mean, you can't. It's like going into Rat music. We know what it's about, Juan and I, and who's involved. But that's what we did back in the day. Everybody wrote their own songs and put them in a pot. We'd write them together, Robin and I, or somebody would come up with a riff, and that's it. One of us could write the song, or 2 or 3 or 4. But we know the schematics, and we try to stick to it.
Now, when you come up with new songs for, say, Rat, like, do you try and be conscious of like, well, we want to get this on radio? I mean, obviously you want to get on radio, but like,
no,
or you just this is what we want to do,
right? We want to make it sound like the best music we can deliver.
Right.
We've co-written with some great people, writers. I've written with Desmond Child.
Would you write with him again?
Of course. Diane Warren, Giving Yourself Away. Desmond, Diane Warren. I'd love to write with Perry. I mean, hey, song's a song, Nobody's guaranteed a hit. You just play the best music you can and write the best you can, and that's it. If you try to write for radio or formula, it's not going to work.
Because I don't even know if radio plays music. Like it's,
yeah, right. We're hearing a lot more Rat, so that makes me happy.
Well, yeah, I mean, it
You know,
stands up. You know, even
Mm.
some of the lesser known songs like "Dangerous but Worth the Risk." That's a
Sure,
great fucking song.
that's what we are. We're still that.
um, Now, when you do your solo material, when you're writing for a new album, do you try and have it sound a little different from Rat, or like, are you conscious of that, or are you? How's it work?
That's a good point. I speak on this a bit. That's a tough one because anything I write, fortunately, unfortunately, you're going to get my voice, and it sounds like that Rat guy. So with my solo stuff, I tend to just it depends on what Eric delivers or what I come up with. Basic tracks on guitar. I mean, some of it, the newer stuff, is just completely heavy. Not suited for Rat or probably even Metallica. You know,
Right.
but so we just have fun with it. Whatever works. I mean, the last record I did, we would record uh, basic tracks, and I just shut them down. Nope, this next song we're gonna do because it's better. Where'd this come from?
Right.
So we pretty much work around that. Kind of a system for solo. But yeah, it's kind of difficult sometimes because you're gonna get that Rat singer, dude.
Yeah,
It doesn't matter what I do.
but you
So
are the voice. Like,
I'm not complaining.
when they.
I know that guy. I like him.
Yeah, I mean, maybe when you took a vacation from the band and
Yeah.
they had someone else,
Mm.
it just wasn't the same.
They tried, yeah.
Nothing against that person.
Yeah, that's not going to work. No,
It's
that'll
just
never
like,
work.
I love Skid Row, but to
Mm.
me, I want to hear, and I know it's not going to happen probably, but I
Yeah.
want to hear Sebastian.
Yeah, it's like what's going on with this is just part of the being in a band.
But it goes back
You
to
know.
getting along and
Sure. You could have everything in the world and not be happy. It does, shit'll go down.
Oh yeah, I mean,
So on that respect, but we got some really good music coming from both sides, so I'm looking forward.
because I think people forget Rats started out as a somewhat heavy band.
Yeah.
Like, I think Brian
Oh, yeah.
Slagle
Sure.
mentioned
Tell the
that
world.
you guys were on the first Metal Blade Records compilation
Right.
with Metallica.
With Metallica. It was Sarah Thungle, Metallica, Bitch, Rat, Metal Massacre 1.
So-
And that recording actually is without the rhythm section, drums and bass.
Right.
Yeah, and I wrote that song in Mickey Rat days. So I think that came out in 82.
Yeah, it's pretty early.
If I'm correct, 82. Yeah, because the EP followed, and that song, Tell the World, went on to the EP also.
Right.
Yeah, those are all Mickey Rat songs, that EP, except for Walking the Dog. And You Think You're Tough, Robin and I threw together.
Now, would you be? I saw recently in an interview you said you would be open to working with Jakey Lee, possibly if you guys could. Is that a possibility? Or?
I know somebody brought that up for when we were doing the guitar, search thing.
Oh, right. I didn't mean for rap, but I
Uh,
mean like.
Anytime, I like Jake. I've always liked Jake. I have unreleased music with him from 1982 when he was in the band as it was turning into Rat.
Right.
As we knew it, there was a Rat with Jakey Lee. Yeah,
Who was the other guitar player like when he was there? Someone.
me.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I sang, and then I stopped singing, and then the lineup changed. I mean, stopped playing guitar, rhythm
Right.
guitar, and kept singing. And we had a lineup change, and it was Bob DeEllis on guitar, Jake on guitars, Matt Thorne on bass, and the drummer was Dave Alford from Rough Cut. So this is way before
With the classic
You
version
know.
of Rat.
the classic.
Right.
The classic happened late 82, early 83.
'Cause I think Juan was in Dawkins at the time.
Yeah, he was flipping back and forth. He didn't know what was going on. And Robin and I, that's when Robin and I, both of our bands had imploded and we moved to LA. Mickey Rad imploded after doing all these gigs, and Robin's band imploded. Barrett Macmeta. So we decided together, let's fucking start a band. We're gonna call it Rat.
How hard was it though back in those days when I think in the touched on this subject and behind the music where every band was getting signed but you guys.
Mm.
You guys
The
had-
original Rat, yeah.
I mean, was that not to turn this into like a Tony
Sure.
Robbins seminar, but like what? He's got his own problems right
I
now.
know.
Maybe he should have been in an '80s band. I mean, what was the motivation to keep going? Like, it had to have been tough to see all your friends getting signed. It's like, well, we're better than they are.
Yeah, it was interesting because we were selling out multiple nights at the Troubadour or here, and we were following. We were right behind Motley in the scene of like who's happening, what's going on. We just stuck it out. We were probably the last of the Mohicans. Yeah, that's a true story.
Because then you have the one final showcase, I think. At the
we did.
The Saban Theater. I don't know what it was called then.
Yeah, I don't either. I keep thinking it's Beverly Theater or something. I don't know, but Atlantic came down there, and it was like, let's go. If it's good enough for Zeppelin and Stones, it's good enough for Rat.
And 35 years later,
and 36 years later.
See,
next year.
And
I believe.
Do you have any hobbies like I mentioned to you, I play hockey just to be away from people in the business, to clear my mind. What do you do when you don't want to be making music? Art?
I
stay at home?
Right. I write. No.
So you're always around the
I'm
music.
always pretty much thinking music, racing, creating stuff, putting things to paper, pen to paper, and ideas. And yeah, there's some stuff I'll be unleashing next year, and it'll give you a clue.
Like, how do you go about writing? Like, let's just say tomorrow I want to write a new Rat song or a solo song. Do you like sit in a room alone with strumming a guitar? Or?
No, it could be me just hearing an idea in my head, and I'll just turn my phone on and record it and see what happens.
And then you call Juan and say, hey, I got this idea.
Well, that comes later. I try to get the most out of myself writing first and then get input. It's like that's one thing I really kept to myself writing lyrics in the Rat heyday is I just wanted to hear the music, whether I wrote it or not. And then I would go away and write the lyrics by myself. And then I would come back and they'd hear it and put in their 2 cents, change this, change that, change melodies. And so, like I said, we have a schematic. So that's how we pretty much, it never goes away.
Right.
I still use Bo Hill techniques, or I try, that he's taught us or me vocally and recording and stuff. I learned a lot from Bo Hill, actually.
Would it be
myself?
Right. Because he was responsible for some of the early Rat.
Yeah. I mean, I believe, he was the one who picked Round and Round to work on when he heard it. Out of all these songs, some songs made it. I actually have a track that we recorded that was never released, that we actually recorded
for Out of the Cellar.
For Out of the Cellar, yeah. There's some stuff that'll be rearing its head soon enough.
And how many songs would you say were recorded but not released for on each album? I mean,
on each one, it could be anywhere up to
1 or
15.
2. Oh, really?
We record or try to write about 15 songs, and see what survives.
And would you typically leave it up to someone like Bo Hill or
sure, or
Michael Wagner or whoever?
Bo Hill or whoever, and then we would take a vote, But we definitely have to work it out in pre-production. That's the most important. See how it works actually musically,
right?
We pretty much rehearse it before we record it.
Now on Detonator, which was probably the first time you guys brought in an outside, like, if you're going to bring in one guy, Desmond Child's the guy.
Desmond and Payson was the producer, but it was pretty much that we were writing with Desmond, so he pretty much used his guys. It's an interesting record, actually.
I love it.
I mean, it's trippy.
But he's known to be kind of a my way or the highway type of songwriter? Was it
I
hard
think it
to?
depends on who he's working with. Because
Right.
like him and I and Diane Warren wrote "Giving Yourself Away." I mean that's crazy, and I think it's an amazing tune.
Was there a pressure to get like because that was in that time frame of every band has to have a ballad.
Yeah, right.
You
No,
know.
we never believed in that. It just so happened that later on that ballad thing was over years ago
Right.
when we did "Giving Yourself Away," and "Reach for the Sky" was another record. We had a different producer until Bo Hill was asked to come back because it was a mess or something. I don't know.
Well, what makes a bad producer? Not, I want this to be
Well,
positive.
somebody who doesn't give you ideas or just sits there thinking that the band has all the answers because we don't.
Right.
As so-called as talented as somebody may think, you got all the answers. No, you need some output, and that's what I loved about Bo. He would throw stuff at me over and over. Try this, try this, try this, and you have to be open to it. Try it. So, and it worked. And then how he recorded me always stuck with me. I still do it to this day with solo work or whatever to get my sound, my character, so to speak.
Right. How can you go into that a little further? Like, did he?
Well, it's like it's how I tracked. It's not really just multiples and layers of lead vocals. I would have a start out with one mid, low, or high, and then I would bounce around that. If it was a high, I would put a low and a medium in there. If it was a medium, I would put a high and a low. So it's my own way of recording, But I don't use tracks when I sing live. Let's get that straight right now, folks.
Listen, I've seen Rat 20 times, 30 times. I've never once walked out going, there were backing tracks.
Yeah, I challenge anybody.
Which most bands do these days.
I know it's blowing my mind that some rock guys do that. I mean, if you got your hands full and you're dancing around, and that's one thing, but to each his own. Hey, you know what? It's entertainment. It's like last night watching the AMAs. I was telling Kay here, I was going, there's a lot of job opportunities for dancers the last couple years. All these people have like 10, 20 dancers, or they can't do their shtick.
Right.
So that's funny.
I mean, I don't mind it as long as the band's honest about it. Like,
yeah.
I won't mention the band's name, but let's just say they a couple of years ago did a final farewell tour, and that didn't last very long. But they were some backing vocals being used.
Yeah, we never believed in that kind of stuff. But hey, all I know is Rat can't be exterminated. 2020 is going to be a great year. We've got a lot going, and we'll be putting out a press release on some things we're doing next year. The new music definitely will come out.
And where can people get the old music? Because I know you can go
anywhere.
to iTunes, but
go anywhere. Yeah, and there's so many.
officialstephenpearcy.com.
You can go to officialstephenpearcy.com to get some classic stuff. And
can they get like your book
music
and stuff?
Sure. Yeah, you can get the book there. And also go, if you want some other cooler merch, you can go to Miss Truth Adair. That's MISSTRUTHADARE.com.
It's
There's
early in the
way
morning.
cool stuff there.
Yeah, there's great T-shirts for men and women.
Sure.
Because Rad is one of the few metal bands that had a lot of female fans as well.
We catered to them.
Like I've been to Motorhead shows. There wasn't a female within 100 miles of that place. Was that part of why you guys lasted?
It was part of the plan, believe it or not.
Because I was, I used to date Motorhead's manager, the female manager.
Mm-hmm.
Not that there would be anything wrong with dating the male manager. And she told me.
It's like a Seinfeld thing.
Yeah, she was like,
there's anything wrong with it.
Oh, yeah, listen, when in Rome. And
sure.
Where I live.
I believe.
You are in Rome.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, look at the singer from King Cobra. He started out as Mark Free. Now he's Marcy.
Yeah, that's a trip.
Yeah, she's a female now.
Hey, man,
There you go.
whatever, right on. As long as they're happy and nobody bothers nobody.
Yeah, I mean, Rob Halford's one of the greatest singers of all time.
I
Who
love Rob.
cares?
He's great.
Well, I always like it during your solo shows when you do heading out to the highway or heading to the.
Oh,
highway.
it's solo shows I do. Yeah, heading out to the highway.
It's neat to see you be a
Yeah.
fan of someone. Like,
Oh, totally. I love singing Zeppelin and Priest and Aerosmith, Sabbath, anybody. Bowie. I love singing Bowie. Cracked Actor or, not Suffragette, not the norm.
right?
Blue Oyster Cult, love. I mean, I'm still a huge fan of these bands, and so, that's where I see it. That's what I'd like the same for Rat.
Yeah, but Rat,
Dig it.
like I told you when you came here, the singer from Bowling for Soup. I'm like, hey, Jared, I've got Stephen Pearcy coming. I was like, oh my God, please tell him I said hello. I don't think
said, hey, what's his name? Jeremy?
Jared Reddick.
Jared? What up, Jared?
He's like, I used to dress up Stephen and Juan for Halloween.
Right on.
Well,
that's a cool dude.
Yeah, he's they have one of their hit songs. It's called 1985, and it's a tribute to
that's cool.
like you guys and Motley Crue, and
Nice.
because you guys,
What's happening to the Strip here? Actually, speaking of us guys, it's changed. It looks like Melrose. Looks like Times Square.
well, that's like I get sad because I remember I sound old. Well, I guess I am old when I say this, but
that
from Doheny to say Crescent Heights,
Sure.
you could go to Kazari's.
yeah.
Obviously the Roxy, the
Right.
Whiskey.
Yeah.
I mean, every time I go by the Roxy, I say, "Oh, this is where the Back for More video was filmed, and it's where Uncle Milty crashed." And
Everything's changed. That it's not that I come out here all the time and hang out.
because you're a Valley man now, without giving out your location.
I'm a ranch man now.
Okay, well, we won't give away the.
But yeah, it's all cool. I still love this place.
But I get sad, like thinking, okay, I used to roam. I mean, the Strip back in the day.
Don't take the whiskey from us.
I don't think they can. I don't think the mob would let that happen. I mean,
I think they are trying to make it a historical monument. Yeah, it should be.
Because music on the Strip is it's pretty much just the Viper Room.
Speaking of Alice, I have this great original poster of Led Zeppelin playing the Whiskey with Alice Cooper opening.
What year was that?
I don't has
Early
to been,
70s?
No, 60. It has to be early 60s before the first record. Or somewhere around there. Alice would know.
I mean, I would say Alice.
That's a show I would have wanted to go to.
Oh my God, that's well, you were probably about 12 back then.
I was probably.
I think I was 4. So
I was probably about 28 back then.
but,
Yeah, right.
You look great for 100.
Thanks. I know. 140.
I'm obsessed with this club that used to be on Crescent Heights in Santa Monica, the Starwood.
Oh yeah, right.
Just because of who owned it. And, he was Eddie Nash.
All
was
that crazy shit.
Pretty wacky character. Did you ever? Rat never played there, or did you ever play there before Rat?
Rat actually got a chance to play there once.
And what was that? What was that like?
It was as they're at the end of it. It was
Right.
towards the end of it. It's another club, but it was one that you had to go to. It was a trip. You'd walk in, it'd be like a little cave kind of entrance, if I recall. I can recall it. Yeah. You see people like the Runaways hanging out. This is total 70s.
I mean, I walk my dog there every day, and it's now Russian Deli, and I just
Is it the same building?
same building. They kept that weird awning, I guess. You'd say.
Right in the driveway.
Yeah,
Got it.
And then
I remember. Okay, I got a brain.
It's well, you have to remember all your lyrics.
That's a tough one because I'm remembering 20, probably like a good almost 200 solo things and the Rat material. It's difficult, but I'm allowed to forget words every now and then.
But you guys always switch up the set list, which is by at least a song or two. Like
it's just a lot of songs computed. I mean, besides cover songs, everything you have to learn. I'm sure it's with any musician, whether it's playing a guitar or singing, but mostly verbally for singers. To once you learn something, like for me, like back when I had to learn like a Zeppelin or a Blue Oyster Cult song, those lyrics stick in your head to this day with me. I can sing them to this day.
Right.
So I've got like a catalog of like 500 tunes in my head. I have to remember lyrics, that I just remember
Uh,
most of the time.
what's your favorite cut? I mean, like I love it when you do the Priest song.
Priest, I like all of them. I don't play the ones I actually really like.
Right.
I'd play something like Desert Plains or, Electric Eye, Helion, uh, anything.
Right.
I love Proust.
Oh, they're. I think they
Amazing.
got nominated this year as well for the.
They
rock.
should be in there. I mean, come on, give hard rock, heavy metal guys a break. Sold hundreds of millions of records over how many decades, and they're still giving Joe Schmo awards.
Yeah, I mean, like,
Come on,
you know.
what do you give us award for best hair or something?
Well, I think the Rolling Stone, their list of like
Oh yeah,
the top 100 guitar players, they had Van
Right.
Halen at like 78.
yeah, right. Like that's true.
Like that's crazy.
I can name the top 5 right now.
Who are the
nine.
top? This is
To
from a
me-
guy who was there.
To me, I would say, if I would say my top 5, I would say Hendrix, Page, Beck, Van Halen. Oh God! Then you get into the real nitty gritty. You can get into like
Different
Billy
genres.
Gibbons and Stevie Ray Vaughan,
BB King.
Steve Vai,
Right.
John Five, Jordan Ziff, even the Warrens and the whoever. There's tons of them.
Even a guy like Momstein, who like you wouldn't,
Oh, Yngwie,
but he reinvented that speed.
Speed Demon.
1,000 notes a minute. Like
Yeah.
it's impressive.
Mm-hmm.
So
That's like it was funny. The subject came up, and my response was, "Yeah, it seemed like back in the day, in the early '80s, all the singers had to scream as high as they could, because that was what was happening with that British invasion came back here, like Priest, Accept, Scorpion, Maiden, right, and all of that. So you do things that you can't repeat,
right. But you guys had, thanks to your vocals, mainly an edge that you didn't sound like anyone else.
I still don't understand a lot of that. I just sing. I tell my daughter since day one, I got to go yell at people.
Right.
I mean, I'm just going to have fun. That's all I do. I actually do just kind of turn that character on, and, once that's done, I turn it off, and it's off into another world,
Oh, well, but I mean, like, so many bands sounded alike.
Yeah. Oh, yeah,
singers,
totally.
They looked alike.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys were all different looking enough where, you didn't.
Well, you were talking about the heavy metal thing and all the dudes in the audience and whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a predetermined thing. We did think about that because in the beginning of Rat, really in the beginning, we were leathered out guys. I might have worn white leather.
I've seen the
But
picture.
Robin was black leather. We were leather, and until we decided, well, you might want some girls in our audience, or more. Let's how are we gonna fix this? So we decided to create this cement pirate thing,
Right.
and that's what we did to keep ourselves away from that heavy metal studs and leather image,
Well,
And
it
then
fit.
what hap-
with-
And then what happens now? I'm wearing leather and studs.
it's come full circle. Well, that's because they don't play videos anymore. So
I know,
why?
that's too bad.
Why dress like pirates if you can't even show it off?
Cement pirates?
I mean, the outfits you guys were wearing in the "Lay It Down" video were like,
Yeah. Oh my God. That's funny because I'm sure a lot of us make videos, or even the guys in the '70s who did the promo videos, like the Monkees, were all jumping, right? They're all hey, slow motion. You think, oh man, I regret doing that, but that was a sign of the times. Why regret it? Why say, yeah, I look like shit, or I shouldn't have done that? That's what it was. That's what's exciting about the '80s scene coming back, or showing itself again, is because it was colorful, dangerous, exciting, and refreshing.
you know,
I mean, I try and explain it to people, but
yeah,
you really had to be there. Like,
100%.
it's just
There will
nothing.
never be an 80s Hollywood sunset like there was in 1980, 81, 82, 83, 84, 85, and 86. And then things started to, there's new guys in town. Everybody's looking the same. All these BC list bands and everybody. It was just like carbon copy, you know.
Right. I mean, it was like you had Rat, and then you had maybe a band ripping you guys off, and
Find the
then
new Van Halen,
Right.
find the new Rat, find the new Motley, find the new this, and then everybody just started looking the same,
and sounding the
and
same.
sounding the same. And fortunately for the guys, uh, us being lucky to be one of them, spearheading that is a cool thing.
Oh yeah.
I can dig that.
I mean, the videos, but the talent wins out at the end of the day. Like,
Yeah.
Even into the
Yeah.
'90s, you guys did like "Nobody Rides for Free,"
Sure.
which is a great song. Like,
I mean, well, look, nobody knew back in the day. I think Robin explained this very prolifically once. We didn't know we were going to become actors. Hey, there you go. Now you're going to act.
Right.
There's a camera. Okay, this is all great for record sales and shit, but as far as the videos are fun though. I mean, there's nothing like. I mean, we did Wanted Man. It was like
Five
didn't even
Cowboys.
sleep after that gig the night before. Went into old Tucson, wherever that thing was filmed, and were high as kites at like 6 a.m, jumping on horses. A lot of fun.
Like, what was that Marshall coming up? I mean, like,
Yeah,
I would,
definitely.
I would have
You
loved
know.
to have been in the room where he's like, "Hey guys, I want you to dress up like Five Cowboys."
Well, we talk about it. The band did talk about
Right.
things and where we wanted to do and be, but he initially came up with some of the idea. You would know it was his.
Right.
Like Back for More. And then the company we'd hired to do those, whether it be Limelight, who did, I actually remember that, who did Round and Round. They give you ideas. They
Right.
put together a little script thing. And you either say nay, yay, but it was pretty cool.
I'm still blown away on Melrose. I was walking my dog recently, and I looked up, and I had a Rat shirt on that day, and it was
Nice.
the restaurant from the Back for More.
Oh.
Gardel's. I think it's like an
The
Argentinian restaurant now. I'm like,
right. Now it is.
wow. Yeah.
Yeah, it used to be like a burger looking
Right.
joint, right?
And it's the same awning. And I was
no.
like, so
That's a trip.
I got the chills. Oh, that's where they pulled over Stephen. I think Tommy and Nikki
right.
were in
right, there you go.
like that whole video, I guess, was
Yeah.
filmed on Melrose. Most of it.
Well, Ozzy was filmed
Right.
in.
His backyard, I think.
No, he was filmed in Betty Ford Clinic. We went out of our way.
Oh, absolutely.
Come on.
Because you guys opened up early. Or you guys toured with
Sure.
him very early on.
Yeah, well, after Motley did their stint with Ozzy, he grabbed us,
Right.
and that was full blown U.S., Europe, Canada. It was very cool.
And I read somewhere that he was intimidated by your guys' exuberant after show antics. I mean, that had to be pretty crazy to intimidate Ozzy, who'd probably snorted everything
Yeah.
known to man.
To be honest, I can't remember a lot of that shit, and it's probably good that I don't, because when I did the first book, I had to go to everybody else who worked around, security, concierge, and people to what happened, and I found out some good stuff and some bad stuff and some weird stuff and fun stuff.
Well, I read your book in about 2
Yeah.
days. It's a very
The next one will be a lot more diverse.
I mean, do you find like on the next one, since you're older and wiser, you want to leave out some of the wacky stories, or do you want?
I'll leave some out, but there are some worth telling. I mean, it's still fun. It's rock and roll. It's
Right.
rat and roll. I mean, I sure as hell wouldn't want to live that again. I don't think we could and survive. But, there's some things. But I want it to be a little more, not because of, you grew up. The last book wasn't that long ago.
No.
So it'll be good. But what we need to concentrate on is Rat 2020 December run.
Yeah, what's the next run of dates? I think you're in
December 12th is the first show, and we'll run through the end of the month. Take time off for Christmas, like 2 days, and then head out on the highway. Speaking of that song,
because December 12th you're at the Greenwich Odeum in Rhode Island, and then Wally's
playing everywhere.
Playing. Yeah, I mean the Paramount theaters. And the Beacon Theater. That's a big.
So it's going to be fun. It'll be a good December, and usually it's been a custom of ours. So I'm glad we're doing it this year.
And Bogarts, which is a legendary place, and then
gear up, new music, and get us ready for 2020. And then we'll do some announcing of some good things to come, and it's time to rat and roll. Bring on the party.
Oh, it's great to still see you guys out there, and you guys put on a great show. Like,
appreciate it.
The band seems like they're having fun, which makes that audience at the Rose and at the Canyon Club.
You're getting the real deal. There's no compromise, or I got a gig to do, or this is just a job. It's an adventure. It's a great thing.
Does it help to have someone like Jordan, who's he looks about 15?
Don't let it fool you.
Right. To have someone like that, I guess that young, does he give you guys like a little almost youthful enthusiasm?
It just, I don't think about it like that. It's just, we're energized, we're pumped, we're excited, we're ready to go. He already threw me down as an idea for a song. I think it's great. So it's just like, it's the band. It's interesting,
Yeah, are he Chris and Mr. Holmes? Do they? I don't want to say like, are they allowed to? But like, do they throw you ideas? Like, even though you and Juan are like, obviously,
of course they are. Just like I just said, Jordan threw down an idea so far. I really like. It's total rat sounding, but I can't wait to start getting into recording. Getting a couple ideas out there, a couple new songs.
Great. Yeah. So next year, guys. Steven, you can come on here anytime.
All hell breaks loose, and I'm glad I'm doing this show because it's way cool.
Well, I am respectful of the. You didn't have to do it. I'm sure you get a million requests.
I keep asking you, I know, but I don't do them. But I keep asking you, let's do an interview. Let's do an interview. So here we are.
Well, I'm almost shy to ask you because it's like, fuck, he's busy, or he's touring, and
it's like, fuck yes, I'll do your show. Let's do a show.
Well, you can come back anytime. I hope you do.
Yes.
And please, guys, support Steven.
Go to the website,
officialstevenpearcy.com or theratpack.com.
The dates are there. And
Miss Truth Adair.
Yeah, MissTruthAdare.com. And thanks for the support. Everybody's, throwing down for Rat. We appreciate it.
Well, it's most bands come and go.
Rat can't be exterminated, my friend.
You really can't.
No, ain't gonna happen.
But I respect the fact that you guys are still out there. There's very few bands from that era who are, it's you guys, it's Bon Jovi, it's Def Leppard, Motley Crue.
Yeah, it's getting slim pickings. So
I mean, if you're looking to see Shark Island play, good luck.
Shark Island.
But bands, it bums me out that bands like, I'm not necessarily saying Shark Island, but
that's like Rock's Regime, but you can see them. They're called Striper.
You're right. I mean, maybe if you're lucky, you'll get a Bible thrown at you.
Hey, you can see Dante Fox. Oh, now they're Great White, so that's right.
There's like two Great Whites. There's a lot of.
Oh, I didn't know that.
It's two LA Guns.
Well, I'm glad there's only one Rat.
Oh, well, there always was. There tried to be a few Rats, but this is the best version of Rat. It's listen, you guys are going to be really bummed out when this genre.
Rats multiply very quickly.
Well,
you know that, right?
Why, with the amount of things you guys did backstage, I'm surprised there weren't 50 Rats out there.
Enough of that tomfoolery.
But please support Steven. He's been good to me, and Rat's going to be big.
Support the band. It's like you're acting like it's a new band. This is a brand new band, Rat, coming out. 2020.
That's how you got to plug to the kids.
I'm telling you, the new kids.
Kids don't know what Gazzari's.
This new band, Gazzari's. I wish there was a Gazzari's.
Well, I mean, it's that club's not even open most of the time. It's Jay-Z's One Oak.
What is it called? No, not
It's called
Key
One
Club.
Oak.
One Oak.
And I think if my memory isn't totally messed up, it went from Gazari's to Billboard Live to
Right,
the Key
to
Club.
Key Club.
Because I went to the Rat show at the
Key Club.
Infestation release party.
Release party, right.
And then it's One Oak, and they have like rap concerts. And
I recorded a live record there, Key Club.
yeah, no, I mean
Actually.
that was a great. But it's live music on the Strip is it's just not happening anymore.
No, you got to go to
unfortunately.
concerts. So theratpack.com and officialstephenpearcy.com, truthandare.com, and yoursite.com.
I don't have a site,
Well,
Steven.
you
I'm
do
just-
now. We're going to make one right now.
At Earl Skakel on Twitter and Instagram. Where can people follow you on Twitter and Instagram?
Just make sure it says official.
Right.
There are some freaks out there.
Oh yeah. There's many rat imposters, but there's only one king rat, and he's on my fucking
Damn
couch
right.
now. So he will come back for more.
That's right.
And please, guys, support Rat live concerts.
Yeah. Support the rock bands anyway.
Yeah. I mean, just once these bands are done, they're done, and you're gonna have to see.
That's true. That's true.
I don't know what the hell.
The cover bands like that cover Poison band and the cover Def Leppard band and the cover Motley band are playing together. You got to check this out. I'm serious.
Well, I mean, I will say one of my favorite tribute bands was a Rat band. I saw them at the Troubadour.
I never saw them.
They were called Rat and Roll.
They aren't anymore. I'll guarantee you that.
And we won't get. Well, we don't want to talk about lawsuits, but I will say I am tearing up because the singer during the last song said, "We played with Steven, we've played with some others. Now we're going to play with the two we've never played with before."
And that was Robin.
Robin and Juan came out.
Yeah.
And Robin took I don't want to say the fake Robins, but like the guy playing Robin's shitty out of tune guitar. And
Oh man.
for Round and Round, he was probably pretty sick at the time. He was like a kid again. Like I'll never forget that visual.
Brilliant.
Robin Crosby just playing the fake Robin Crosby.
There
It's
you
like,
go. Right
so,
on. So
Steven,
everybody kick ass, rat and roll, and look forward to seeing you out there. Thank you for your time.
dude, thank you for your time.
I need to interview you.
Do you have a podcast?
No,
You
but I can come
should.
here and do it.
Well, I don't have to stop.
I am going to do a podcast soon enough.
You
Kids,
should.
stay tuned, and
But-
then I'll interview all you freaks who interview us.
Yeah, that'd be me, Eddie Trunk. It'll look like an Amber Alert lineup in your studio.
Photographers. I'll go another route.
Get
Don't steal
Ross.
my idea, people.
Neil Zolzauer.
There you go.
Glenn LaFerman.
Slowsy, Glenn. You
Gene
got it. You
Kirkland.
remember all those names? Amanda. What was her name?
Anna Maria
Anna Maria
DeSanto.
DeSanto. John Harrell. Oh God, I'm missing a few. Love those guys.
There's something with Warren, the guy who shot Motorhead a lot.
Japanese guy, part Japanese.
I met all these guys, and they
Yeah.
all had. Of course, I would ask them two questions. And Anna Maria, one girl, I said, "How was Rat, and how was the Vinnie Vincent invasion?" And let's just say they had a lot more nicer things to say about you.
I love it. Well, thank you so much, man.
Oh, Steven, you're the best. Mrs. K, you're the best. We'll leave out names here and just anonymity sometimes is good. And Inappropriate Earl, Apple Podcasts, and SoundCloud. Leave a review for this fucking episode.
Yeah, baby.
And support Rat and Roll because 2020 is going to be bigger than ever for them.
Fuck yes.
And good things coming.